Hey friends, it's Allie. I'm here today to show you some foam rolling techniques to help you feel more ease and less pain in your body. I've been talking about making this video for years, so for those of you who have stuck with me until now, thank you for waiting. It took me a long time to realize the way in which I needed to create this to be really meaningful and feel authentic to my true self. So, appreciate the patience. I want to talk a little bit about what fascia is because some people hear the word and they're like, what is that? Fascia is a connective tissue and it encases every muscle fiber and muscle group. It connects us from the top of our head to the bottoms of our feet. It's what gives our body structure aside from just the muscles, bones, tendons, ligaments, all of the other tissues that we have. Fascia is incredibly smart. It holds memory and it helps us to perceive and receive messages from the outside world and our inside world. It's part of the nervous system in a way, just like everything else in our body. And manipulating it and working with it has to be done kindly. There's a lot of people who say, I hate foam rolling. And it's often because they've been taught by someone who has the no pain, no gain mentality, or they're like, if it hurts, you're doing it right. I have a little different take on it. There's lots of schools of thought when it comes to myofascial release, and myo meaning muscle and fascia. So I'm going to be talking a lot about muscles, but what we are accessing is both the muscle and the fascia. They're kind of like connected, so it's sort of the same thing. So what I'll say first is if you're new to foam rolling and you're someone who holds a lot of tension in your body, you're probably not going to want to begin with a really dense roller. If you go to your average gym like a Planet Fitness or a Crunch, you're going to probably see these kind of foam rollers that are really hardcore. They are great, they can do a lot, and they're really intense. I'm someone who has been an athlete most of my life. I have received a lot of soft tissue work. I'm someone who's been foam rolling for years, so this is something I love to use. If you're brand new or you're someone that's really tight, you're probably going to want to get a nice soft one. This is like, you'll see it bend. It's very, very gentle. This brand OTPT is fantastic. They are a little more expensive and very worth it. The soft density of this will not only help you to ease in better, but like some of the cheaper versions, it won't dent and form like flat spots. Like there's some of the cheaper styrofoam that you'll just like roll on it and it'll dent. So you want to find something that works. I'll throw some links in the end of the video to different rollers that might be suitable for you. I do prefer that people use the 36-inch rollers because they can be used for other things like lying your spine on it for shoulder mobility work and pressing. But as far as foam rolling itself goes, I'm going to show you a bunch of different techniques covering almost every inch of the body. Now, not every person needs to foam roll every part of the body. There's some of us who are hypermobile. Like I am one of those people where I have a lot of mobility in certain parts of my body. And so I don't have to foam roll every single part. Neither do you. You'll find as we go through this what feels productive for you, like what feels like, wow, there's something here that I could sit with a little longer, and maybe you explore it deeper on your own. I'm going to move not quickly, but I'm going to not take a ton of time on each muscle group so that we have time to get to everything. And then you take the time on your own to figure out what you need more of. This is also something I'm really great at, is helping people figure out what they do need. So if you want to work one-on-one with me, I always offer complimentary discovery calls and fitness assessments. So that's something you can do as well. All right, let's get started. We're going to begin with this foam roller, and we might use some other tools towards the end. So first things first, if you are feeling excruciating pain, back off, stop. We don't want to force the body through pain. That's not how our body feels safe. Safety requires a bit of surrender and give. So if you find a spot that you're like, pause, breathe, back off a little bit. There's no requirement for you to stay with something that feels terrible for you. Okay, we're all very different. And so I want you to start to listen to what feels right in your body. I'm going to begin on my quads, the fronts of the thighs. And you'll notice getting on a foam roller, being on the floor, it's a lot of work for the upper body too. I'm on my forearms right now. If this is new for you, you're going to notice it's a little exhausting, and that's okay. So just notice that, breathe while you move. We're just going to begin by kind of rocking gently up and down. And I'll have you notice, I'll probably bring this up a lot of times, but if you notice your body tensing and trying to like get away from the roller, take a moment to just pause and see if you're able to breathe and let yourself relax a little bit into it. You're probably not going to feel like you're having a day at the beach, but we don't want to be resisting the roller, because it's kind of doing the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish, which is create more space in the body. As we are rolling muscles, what we're doing is helping to hydrate the tissue, the fascia, and we're also creating a little more flexibility so that our muscles can work in their greatest capacity. So that's kind of the point. A lot of people don't understand, what are we doing? It's like we're creating a little more mobility so our muscles can work in their greatest range of motion, and helping the fascia to kind of rehydrate, get some gunks out. So you'll notice I'm sort of just going all the way up, all the way down. I'm not allowing my stomach to drop towards the floor. I'm like protecting my low back by keeping my core engaged. So once you've done some of this, then you can turn your body slightly to one side. Now, I call this the outer corner of the quad. It's like the vastus lateralis. We're not right on the IT band. That's like right on the side here. We're sort of kind of in the front, right in front of it. Now, you can take this roller all the way towards the top of the knee and back to the hip. You may notice like, oh my God, as soon as I get towards my knee, I'm like, oh. So one thing you can also try, you can rest your knee right onto the roller. I have my foot supporting me on the floor here. Once you get to the spot where you're sort of resting more, you can try just like bending your knee a little bit, straightening it out. This is pretty intense. What we're doing is sort of like pinning a point and stretching the muscle away from that pinned point. So again, we're creating a little more space and length and just getting some of the gunk and adhesions to soften a little bit. So, that's a good time. Now, you can also take the roller right up into the hip flexor. Now, I'm going to just show you by coming onto my knees what we're going for here. Now, we've got a couple different hip flexors. What we're looking for here is the TFL, tensor fasciae latae. And the way to find it, it's kind of like a mysterious one because there's only a small bit of it that presents to the front of the body. So I like to feel for my hip bones. If you feel the ASIS, the part of your hip bone that kind of protrudes in the front slightly, just take your fingers and go slightly outward and maybe a little down, and take yourself into a couple hinges and press your hips forward. You might feel something moving a little bit. That's the point you want to put on the roller. So let's get myself on here. You'll also notice when I'm in this position, I'm not both forearms down. That would be twisting my spine in a funny way. I'm one hand, one forearm. That's a really nice way to keep the shoulders and hips aligned to protect the spine. So once I get that TFL on there, you may or may not feel something. Some people are immediately like, wow, that is tender. Maybe you just stay here and breathe. That's okay. Maybe there's a little rocking motion. This stuff can be quite experimental. Everyone's bodies are a little unique. So what feels good for me is probably going to feel a little different for you. Another way, if you're having trouble finding this place, is you can put your knee, the back knee, on the ground and sort of wave your shin around. Sometimes that can help you to feel where that little muscle is. So I'm going to do my other side so we're even. We're taking the other side of the body on here. And again, like we are asymmetrical beings. So one side is probably going to feel really different from the other side. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just how we work with things that matters. So another thing I'll have you kind of tap into, pardon me, is noticing what you're feeling while you're doing this. We're kind of a feeling resistant culture. So some people will just be like, ah, ah, ah. So that's great. Like, make the noises and the faces. That's part of it. I encourage people to do it, honestly. But also, if you're able to notice, what does it feel like? Is it bringing up any emotions, memories, sounds, colors? Just be aware, because our bodies are wildly intelligent. They're so smart. We just often don't know how to interpret and speak with the body well. So sensation is one of the ways our body speaks to us. As you're doing this, tap in. You're probably not going to figure it out right away. We're not trying to figure things out. We're just trying to be present with what is. So you might be like, whoa, oh my God, this reminds me of an injury I had. Whoa, oh my God. All of a sudden I'm thinking about something my mom said to me when I was 6. Things happen. Let it happen. It's all good. So that was plenty of talk on that side. Let's take it to inner thigh. You're going to move the roller. So you'll lie down on your belly. I've got my forearms on the floor, my hips on the floor, and my roller's next to me like a cute little friend. And then I'm going to hike my leg up over it. So the roller is now kind of perpendicular to my inner thigh. Now, you may just be like, okay, this is plenty. Like, I'll just stay right here. You may rock your hips side to side and notice, because the roller is in one place, you may need to move it out away from you a little more. Oh my goodness, there's so many sensations. So you'll notice, like, all right, I might have more tension towards my knee, whereas someone might have more tension towards their groin. So move it around, use your hand to just shift it and see what feels like what. I mean, just be curious. Here's another place where if you find that tense spot, for me, it's towards the knee. You can hold there, take a big breath in and out. And then maybe you start to straighten and rebend the knee. Hello. And you just keep breathing, being kind to yourself. Something that can happen when we're working with the body in this way is the mind will make up stories and be like, this is your fault for not doing this more often, that you're in pain. It's like, no, it is what it is. Let's be kind to ourselves, because that's the only way forward. Our bodies don't appreciate berating and shame. They appreciate presence and authenticity. So if we're able to kindly be present with our sensations, you'll notice them shift. It's pretty cool. So I'm doing the other side, noticing the differences, taking our time. And again, where do I need the roller to be? Do I want it a little closer to my knee? Or do I want it a little closer to my groin? Just see the difference, because there probably will be. And you'll notice I'm keeping myself on my forearms for this. I don't want to twist my body, because then I'm taking my hips in a different position too. We're really trying to access that inside of the leg where a lot of us hold tension. If you think about what we're doing all day, a lot of us are like sitting at desks or whatever. This area doesn't get a lot of attention. So again, be present and kind, please. Let's see. Next, we're going to take this to our mid-thoracic spine. So I like to tell people the placement is sort of like if you're a woman and you wear a bra, it's sort of like where the bottom of your bra would go. If you're a dude and you can feel where your shoulder blades end, it's kind of like around that spot. Now, you want to hold your head in your hands so that we're not straining the neck to hold ourselves up. This is in a place where we tend to have a little bit limited mobility in the thoracic spine. Of course, we're all wildly different, so it's going to feel different for everyone. But I want you to try keeping your hips grounded and just allowing yourself. This takes a lot of core strength, so if you're not quite there, please be kind to yourself about it. You're just gonna try and let yourself sort of fall backward. We're just creating a little space in that mid-thoracic spine, and then you come back up. It sort of looks like an old school crunch, but the point is not to strengthen the core. The point is to find a little bit of mobility in that mid-thoracic. A couple of those is great. You might want to do 60 of them. Once you do a couple of those, then you can lift your hips and sort of rock yourself up and down. So the roller's kind of coming like to my shoulders and then down to my mid-back. Most of my clients love this the most, and they're like, let's just stay here. So you take as much time as you want with that. The next spot we're going to try and get into is the lat muscles and some of the muscles in the shoulder girdle. It can be quite tender. You be nice to yourself. We're going to come down. I'm like turning onto my side, and it's not in my armpit. It's below, like right here, right where the majority of those ribs are, as if they don't live in multiple places. You know what I mean. So we're going to take ourselves and rock a little forward and back. I just have my bottom arm extended. You can also kind of hold your head a little bit if that feels okay. There's a lot of different things. You'll figure out what feels the best for you. Just know that there's no wrong way. As long as you are not in pain or you're feeling pinching, we want to stay out of those sensations just for safety's sake. You can take a little up and down like this. Breathing the whole time. That's so important. If you start to notice yourself holding your breath, try and like pause. You can even come right off the roller. Just find a nice rhythm so that you're not bracing. Our bodies speak in emotions and sensations, and we can speak back with breath, with movement, with touch and sound. So making the noises, breathing deeply, taking a little movement here, moving your head around. There's so many ways that we can convey safety to the body. One of the biggest ones is breath. So if your breath is moving, make it slow and intentional if you can. But it's important. That's a big part of working with the body, is helping it to feel safe to receive this sort of manipulation. This soft tissue work can be really intense, or it can feel kind of nice. Depends on the state of mind and how often you do it and all those cool things. All right, we're gonna do our glutes next. So you'll take a seat onto the roller like you're sitting on a log, and then your hands can support you behind you. If you're someone that's like, this feels ridiculous to have my arms all the way back there, and maybe you've got yoga blocks or something like it, maybe you've got kids' toys that mimic these, you can put them right behind your hands to get the ground a little closer. I'm gonna ditch mine because I like to put my hands on the ground. So get your hands on the ground, your butt is on the roller, and then you're gonna turn onto one cheek so that you got one butt cheek on there, and just explore. Maybe it's a little up and down. You may notice you want to cross your ankle over, like a little figure 4 action. Now it's always the cheek that's on the roller, that's the ankle that crosses. A lot of people like to do the opposite, and that's not really going to help you. What this crossing does is it helps to expose the piriformis muscle, which is one of the glute muscles. So you'll notice like, whoa, there's more sensation, maybe, in your body when I do this, and maybe it's a little side to side. There's so many different ways to get into this, and I'll show you using a different tool later, another way to get into this. So same thing with the other side, cross the other leg. We breathe, we notice the difference between sides and sensation, pressure. I always like to let out noises. It helps speak to our nervous system and say, it's safe to get into parasympathetic, which is our rest and digest, where we can be like kind of more present, if you ask me. have a seat when you feel done, and we're going to get this roller right under our calves. Now the calves are, they attach down here and up into the back of the knee. So there's a lot of real estate there. So the roller is only going to take up some of that. We'll start with really relaxed feet. When we're flexing or pointing intensely, we're actually resisting the roller with our muscle. So we want to like relax as much as possible. And then I like to just start by doing some cross fiber friction, like you're going across the grain of the muscle fibers, if you will, by doing this. And you can move the roller a little down and see how that feels. Ooh, my left one's nice and tight today. And then you move it a little up towards the back of the knee and you go, how does that feel? And then once you've done some of this, you can see what happens when you take an ankle across the other one. Now, some people love to just like lift their butt up and go for it. You don't have to lift your butt up. You can, but the point is to get some of this forward and back motion. You'll see I'm like externally rotating a little and then internally rotating. You can move the roller a little forward, a little back, towards you or away from you. I'm going to switch to the other side. And again, just keep those feet relaxed. It helps to let the muscle actually get massaged by the roller instead of resisting it. When we find resistance, it's just like, okay, that's not helpful. Let's pause and breathe. So, all right, I think we've gotten through most of this. I'm just going to show you a couple other things that can be done to help roll out some spots of the body. So one of my favorite tools is this Trigger Point MB5 ball. It's a 5-inch diameter. Now it's got a really lovely density to it. Some people will just like go right for lacrosse balls or tennis balls. Lacrosse balls are quite dense. I wouldn't recommend them. You can absolutely use them, but if you're new to foam rolling, probably not the way to go. This guy has the density of, I call it like the heel of the hand. Like if you've ever had a massage therapist use, the fingers are one pressure, the heel of the hand's another pressure, the elbow's different pressure. So this is sort of like the heel of the hand. You can use this for your glutes, sit right on it. This is pretty intense because when you have less surface area, the pressure is more. So I am like probably not gonna cross my ankle right over because I'm someone who's done this for years. I can. You can really feel a bit more when you take a bit of the surface area out of the equation. So you're getting just like a little bit of your body onto this ball. This can be used for all of the things almost that we did with the roller, aside from like the back stuff. But I'll use this for my inner thighs, the hip flexors. Another thing we can do, you'll probably not see my head, but coming to the wall, I'll roll this on my pec muscles. I'll just show you what it looks like if I come up here and I just sort of allow myself to roll around. I'm exploring the tissue. We've got a couple different pec muscles, the pec major and minor. So when you're getting into sort of the side, like I'm right on the side of my breast tissue here, you want to be very gentle. There's a lot of like nerve endings and lymph areas, and just be careful. If you feel any sharp stuff, you back off. You can do the other side, and again, each side's different. So you go, oh, how's this side feel? Do I need to be a little kinder here? Do I need to put a little more pressure here? This is a really great tool to learn how to listen to your body, because a lot of times when we hear listen to your body, we start listening to our conditioning and we're like, well, I should do this. So now I'm going to take the ball to my back, right between my shoulder blade and my spine on one side, and kind of like you see a bear scratching itself on a tree. It's that kind of action. So I'm sort of letting the ball work its way up and down. And while you do this, you'll notice if you move the arm of whatever shoulder you're behind, you can move it behind your back. You can take your hand onto your other shoulder. That just moves the shoulder blade out of the way a little bit. I'm switching sides here. And what that does is create a little more space for the ball to get in there. It's kind of a, oh, that feels so nice, kind of a fun tool just to know that you can help yourself. You don't have to run right to your massage therapist or be like, honey, rub my back. We've got all the tools we need to help ourselves. It's pretty cool. So this is one. Another one I love is Everyday Yoga. Makes a 3.5, I want to say, inch ball. Pretty similar density. I really love this one for my pecs specifically. And then we can also do a little rolling for the feet. I use a golf ball. There's also melt balls that are very small, and quite literally, just like we did with everything else, you just kind of roll it around under there. You find spots that feel like they could use a little love. And again, like, treat yourself kindly. I love to just kind of rock this under my foot in certain ways. I'm someone who has had foot injuries as a dancer, so I'm a little more gentle on my left foot than I am with my right. But if you're able to really allow yourself to sink in a little bit instead of resisting it, that's kind of the way to go. Now, you might be someone who's like, I'm going to lose my balance if I do this. So just support yourself if you need to. Hold on to something. Go stand by the counter. If you are using a golf ball, they tend to escape if you're not on like a mat or carpet. So just be careful. But these are some other things you can do. And I think that will do it. I hope you have enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, please comment or contact me. I can't wait to help you figure out how to make your body feel more easeful, less painful, feel a little more at home in it. And I hope this is a good starting point for you to learn about foam rolling. Have a fabulous day until I see you next time. Be well.